Oh, and Grand Risings, Elizabeth. Grand Risings, hi. Um, this is Danielle Claxton coming to you from Detroit, Michigan. And I am so excited and so glad to have you, ladies and gentlemen, here for the Elizabeth Conference. Um, this today is Monday, Mogul. Okay, Mommy Mogul Monday. Mommy Mogul Mindset Mondays. I'm sorry, I'm still waking up. But we are so happy here. I am just waiting for my co-host at Peace to join us. But I do want to say good morning, Grand Rising. As a friend of mine would say, grand whatever it is to you. And yeah, I just want to say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And I just want to see who do we have on? Who do we have on today? And please, ladies, let's remember if we are being recorded and it does help to have your face, be it live or be it a picture on the Zoom for when it actually re-records and replays, it looks funny when everybody's screen is blacked out and it just has their name. So I'm going to request all of our guests to either be present live with us on video or to make sure that you have a picture set up so that we can see exactly who it is that we're talking to. And I just want to say, yeah, that's the request of the day. And I know Queen Aduni here. Sheila Everett Hale is on.
Of course. Grand Rising, Elizabeth. Thank you for coming and joining in with us. Looking forward to these young ladies popping some good information, some good energy. Always excited to see everyone and all the new people that have joined us so far. I just thank you for joining us. I see Fana's with us today, and Pam and Ayana and Mary. Oh God, we're gonna have a good time. And my wonderful, I call them my daughters, At Peace and Danielle. Go ahead, do your thing. And I can give you the power I've already given At Peace. I didn't know if you want the power to share first or Danielle.
No, Danielle can share first.
Okay, I'm gonna take it back then.
Good rising, grand rising, Elizabeth. Yes. How are y'all feeling this morning? It's so good to see y'all. I'm still putting children to school. The dog threw up in his cage. Ate a sock. Who eats a sock?
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
It's definitely a morning. I had to change my background to some place that I really want to be because I'm like, right about now. It's like, okay. So right now I'm on an ocean view. I'm imagining I'm on an ocean view, junior balcony of a cruise ship somewhere along the ocean.
I'll take it.
That's how we have to think. That's how we have to think about right now. Like, okay.
I'll take it.
I didn't know I was going to share first. So it's like,
yeah, girl, you gotta come on here and share. We want to see you. So everybody, give me one word to describe how you feeling this morning. Just one word. How you feeling this morning, Pam? One word. Can't hear you, love.
Excited.
Yes. All right, fall on in line. Who else want to say something? Hi, Hania. Oh, take yourself off mute, beautiful. You're on mute. You're on mute. I can't hear you.
Oh,
there
good
you
morning.
Go. Good rising.
You know what my word is? It's I'm grateful to be reconnecting.
Period.
Yeah, I'm a Detroiter. I've lived in the Lansing area for a while. Long story short, I'm working my way back to the city. I'm this morning I'm a guest of Razia Delma Curtis.
Nice.
And so I'm at her home right now. She's my true spiritual sister. She's my sister in life. I mean, anyway, she's a part of my whole reconnecting energy. And I just am grateful she shared this program with me. And I think it's great. This is one of the reasons I'm feeling it's necessary to reconnect back to my roots here. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Give our love to Razia.
Yes, please give our love to Razia. I'm not sure what's going on there, but
yes, I will.
Thank you. All right, who's next? Miss Mary.
Yeah, hey.
How you doing, love?
I'm doing good, honey. I had to come on here to see you. You passed Ann Arbor, going all the way to Southfield.
Girl, on the bus, I tell you what, when I go back, I ask the bus if they'll detour to
You know, it does. It goes here. It only costs $30 on the Amtrak.
Oh, well, I'm trying to reserve my money so I can make my move to come back to the reconnecting area. But anyway.
Got you, girl. My one word is magnificent.
Magnificent.
Very magnificent.
All right. Well, you look magnificent, my sister.
You know what? I was telling the girls I didn't even know if I was going to be on here. I was testing it. And then I popped up and here I am in the raw. I don't have one of Sheila's beautiful hairstyles, looking like a real queen. I got a hat that says queen.
You look beautiful to me. I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah. So Sheila's not. Is Sheila
because you are a queen.
Yes, Sheila's on here.
It says. This is me.
Oh, okay.
It says Queen Aduni. Yeah.
Well, you remember me with Alan Biggers, don't you?
Yeah. I was trying to remember. Yes, absolutely. Peace
I just think you're such a wonderful motivator and mentor for the area for women to look up to. You know. That's
thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I can't get the.
Where's my Ayana? Ayana, what's your word for today? Let's see your beautiful face. I want to see your face.
One moment, please. I'm still getting dressed.
No problem. What's your word for today?
But my word today is healthy.
Healthy. Love it. Love it. We're going to have some healthy conversations today, honey. Fana. What's your word for today, Fana?
Fauna.
Is that Danny?
No.
Fauna?
That's Fauna.
I think that's Danny.
No.
She don't usually come on as Danny.
No, Danny comes on.
It's Fifi.
It's Fifi.
Oh, okay. Fauna, Fifi. I'm trying to get
Fauna.
Okay. Honey. Hilarious.
So
did everybody give a word?
I think so. Danielle didn't give a word.
Danielle, give your word. What's your word for today?
Present.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take all of that.
Wake up.
Well, this rain didn't help, waking up to the rain, but.
And then the sun, it was so beautiful. Everybody's out, doing things, exerting probably more energy that they have than they have in a couple of days. And then the rain comes down, right?
Right.
Beautiful rain.
You used to it in Michigan, though.
Exactly. Just wait 10 minutes.
It's gonna change.
You look beautiful, Peace.
Thank you, Sheila. You look beautiful, Queen Aduni.
Yeah, but you got it together. That kind of beautiful, like exertion. I put it together just for y'all.
Yes, I did. I was like, these people don't want to see me looking all crazy this morning. Let me do something with myself.
Yeah, Peace. I saw when you turned your head a little bit. I saw that color back there. Go, girl.
Yeah, trying to be like the young people. My daughter, she hit me up. She said, did you skunk your hair? What the hell that means? She said, did you skunk your hair? I
guess.
I don't know. Did I? I was like, oh, you mean with the color? She was like, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, girl, skunk right here, girl. I just think it's so cool though. I just really like the style, with the color. It's a new style where the color is in the back and then you just have it like in the back, Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. There she is. Hey, Miss Ayana. Good to see you. Beautiful. So, well, we're going to get right on into today. How did everyone's week go? As you know, my name is @PeaceMakita, the life doula, the life coach with the doula approach. And what does that mean? That means that I take practical principles. Yeah, I guess you could do that. I take practical principles from childbirth, from sharing with women in childbirth, from guiding them, getting them to their goal of having a beautiful baby. I take those same principles and I apply them to real life. Because quite honestly, what worked to get us here can definitely work to get us through. So that's the principle in which I work. I'm also a creative artist. I do creative directing and acting and performing and all of that great stuff. I'm also a mom. Love my babies. I'm a mother of 6, proud mother of 6. And so taking that journey from so many different angles, is what I come to share with the world. I also share with women, sister sharing, where I help women just bond with each other and connect and really tap into to our authentic self, right? Because there's this self that the world sees, but then there's this self within us that most of the world doesn't see, but should, because that's who we truly are. So in a nutshell, I do so much more than that, but in a nutshell, that's what I do. And that's what I come to share here on the channel. So thank you all for joining us this morning. I want to give a shout out to my beautiful co-host, Danielle Claxton. Danielle is here to share with us all of the techie, juicy, good stuff when it comes to how to use social media and how to use this virtual world to our advantage so that we can be the moguls that we are. Because here at Mommy Mogul Mindset Mondays, we have the pervading belief that if you are a mom, you are already a mogul. Like, you handle a lot, you do a lot, you manage yourself, you manage your family. That's a lot going on. And if you don't have any children, you're momming something, you're nurturing something, you're nurturing a business or a relationship or something that's important and dear to you. You're nurturing that in addition to keeping your sanity in this crazy world. In addition to paying your bills, in addition to taking care of yourself, you're taking on the nurturing and care of someone else. So you are a mommy. And if you're managing all of that and keeping all the balls in the air, even if some drop, you pick it back up and you throw it back up in the air. In our minds, you are a mogul. And all you need is to have that strong, centered mindset. We also are going to be joined, or we're scheduled to be joined with Tay Brown. She's also a co-host here on the channel. And she talks to us about getting our coin, honey. Getting that bag up, honey, because it don't make no sense to be beautiful and smart and all of these things, and you don't have the material manifestations. And so that's what we want to encourage each other. We want to support each other with that material manifestation, because that's the cherry on top. That's what makes life super sweet, right? So that's what we're here to do: encourage each other, promote each other, support each other in whatever way we can. So thank you so much for joining us. Danielle, what you got on the menu for today?
So today, I'm going to talk about something that I recently discovered for myself in my own business, and it's called a link tree. Now, what a link tree is, it's a supplemental application that allows you to put all your links that surround you and your business, be it your website, be it a show that you're on, be it the several businesses and enterprises that you're involved with, and it combines it in one central location so that you can send it out to people, you can share it on social media, and people can go direct to all the different locations that pertain to you. For instance, I hope I explained that right. My brain is still waking up.
That's okay. I can't wait to find out more about this app. I think, make sure that you guys stick around and find out the information that you need, because when she explained it to me, I think it's a game changer. Like, it's really going to change us. To get this one app is going to change everything. So I'm not going to give away all the juicy deliciousness. I'll wait until it's Danielle's turn. But yes, so you got to stick around for Linktree. So we're going to do a meditation, but we're going to do the meditation kind of in the middle of today. And we're just going to jump right into today's lesson. But oh, no, we're not. Actually, let's back it up because I got to hear what happened to you guys this week. How was your week? What did you do in terms of self-love equaling self-worthiness and your value? Did you find that this week? Did you step your game up? Did you level up in any way? Come on, share with me. What happened this week? Okay, Pam, you going first. Hit it.
I gotta say that I've been eating very well since this podcast has been started, and the things that we learn every day, and the things you talk about, your self-worth and looking at yourself, and even if you don't like what you see at the moment, just wait a moment. It'll change. It'll change because it's all about your mindset.
Yes.
Like Miss Mary said, thinks that she doesn't look beautiful because she says she's raw, but she looks beautiful to me.
You look beautiful to me.
And it's all in the mind of the beholder. And if you are your own beholder and you look beautiful to yourself, then you look beautiful. It doesn't really, because if you think your own self-worth is good, then everybody else will see what you see. So that's what I've learned this week. And thank you, Peace and Danielle.
You are so welcome. My pleasure.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. That's an awesome revelation. You leveled up this week. That's what's up. Anybody else want to share? How was your week about value and self-worth? Hey, Hania, come on, share with us. How was your week?
Well, in the note of reconnecting, Razia has always been a great networking force for me. So I last September I was attending a function here and reconnected with an old friend from Ann Arbor. It's a brother, a real conscious brother. I'm just so excited about reconnecting with him. Well, coming back to Detroit this weekend, he invited me to go out on a friendly date. One of the most awesome restaurants we had dinner at is Boys. Oh goodness, I can't think of it. It's an East African restaurant. Like on the corner of Woodward, I think, and the Boulevard, maybe. But it was just
I think it's like Baba Bar Fair.
Come on, Baba Fair. Baba Fair. Yes, I love Baba Fair.
Oh my goodness, yes. It was great conversation, great atmosphere, a wonderful day. The rain didn't even ruin it. And it was just excellent food. So I'm just really grateful for that experience too.
That's beautiful. So glad that you were appreciated this week and that you
yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Always feels good for that. And Razia's here.
Well, at peace, I'm glad to be seeing you and all the others today. I've just want to thank my sisters. I've gotten lots of calls and letting me know that you're praying for me to feel better. And I am feeling a lot better. And just to have my sister Hania be my house guest has this added so much joy. I actually, after laying around all week, not being able to get on the call, I went walking with Hania. I had enough faith in that relationship, that loving relationship, that I was able to leave my house and put my gym shoes on and leave the house and walk. And we walked a circle. What was it, about a mile and a half or so. And I'm just thankful that with support, with someone else looking at you and saying, we can do this.
Don't forget we had the sunshine beautifully helping us
yes.
too.
So it was just a celebration of connected energy. And I'm grateful.
I'm so happy to see you. You look like you know what? You needed rest because you look very rested now. You look rejuvenated. You look like you are here and ready for it. That's what you needed. So I'm glad that you got that. And I'm glad you also pointed out sisterhood because that's what I heard. You guys have a wonderful sisterhood. And it's something about, this is why I started Sister Sharon in 2007, because it's something about when women come together. It's something about when we come together, how we're able to connect in a way that heals us, that encourages us, that gets us going. If we were in Africa, in a village in Africa, all the women are together. The men are out hunting. They're out doing man stuff.
Yeah.
But the women are in the village together, helping each other raise the children, cook the meals, wash the clothes. You know, this is our tradition as women. So I love it. I absolutely love it. Cool beans. Good to see you, Racia.
Thank you.
And who else? We got Lily on the line. Lily, let's see your beautiful face. How are you this morning? Lily B. Lily B, she shows up. She just be in the ethers. She just be in the ethers. She be here. She just be in the ethers.
That's good.
Happy Monday, beautiful people.
Hey, there she is. How was your week?
Listen, I will turn. Listen, y'all don't want to see these little dun braids. I gotta. But my week was beautiful. My birthday was on Saturday. And it was actually beautiful. I really didn't put any strict stipulations on what I wanted to do, like no big plans, because when I do that, things always go weird. But this was like a let it go with the flow. My daughter was like, Mom, we gonna do this and da-da-da-da-da. I was just looking at her like, I don't know about that, sweetheart. You know, taking naps and everything. She was trying to, I was taking naps for my birthday, like taking a little my bath with my crystals and my candle. Like when I say I was trying to be really heavy on my self-care, especially for my birthday, I had to keep a clear mind because a lot of things happen around it. Girl, it's my time to shine.
Period.
But hey, y'all.
And that's on period. So sounds like somebody lived up to their self-value and their self-worth this weekend.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's on period. Put yourself first, especially if it's your birthday. I don't do
Absolutely.
like the whole month is about me. Everybody know that.
Yeah. Yes.
That's beautiful, Lily. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, we got room for one more person. Anybody else want to share their week about valuing yourself? Did you level up this week? What went on this week? You got room for one more person. Anybody?
I'd like to recommend a book called Sacred Rest.
Oh, okay. Write that down, y'all. Let's put that in the chat. Sacred Rest.
Sacred Rest.
Who is that by, Mama?
Goodness gracious. Let me tell you, she's a Black female doctor. I can't think of her name right now, but if you put it in Amazon, you can get it. I just got off of a 3-month book club, and I felt like I needed to get some rest. So I wanted to recommend that book. And Razia, it's so good to see your face. When you talked about you went for a walk, that's what I did the other day. First time I went for a walk in a while. And I know I had to look funny because I'm 5'2" and my husband's 6'2". But my younger man that I talk about all the time, I call him my crown prince. Actually, he's my younger man because he's 79 and I'll be 80 this year. So that's what I did. And I just encourage you all because, I tell it all. I had 2 knee and a hip replacement and I'm still walking. So don't let none of this stuff set you back. And yes, I will be 80 in October. And I said that, the face lies, but the neck tells the truth. I'm trying to figure out how to get these wrinkles off of my neck. So if you got any suggestions, let me know.
I got a suggestion.
Okay.
Get you some beautifully seductive, colorful scarves that compliment you.
Oh, yeah.
And do several wraps on it. Make them scarves look sexy around your neck.
Okay.
That's one way in the
I got plenty of those. I got plenty of scarves.
That was a great suggestion. I like that. And just talk to it. Just talk to it and tell it what you wanted to do, girl. Just move it up like this.
Yeah. Well, no, that's actually part of the what is it? Some of the rituals that they use when you get a facial, they do the decolletage and all, then they move all this up. So when you're doing your what is it? I don't know if you have a morning routine and a night, right?
And then you just start.
You do this if you have a morning routine or in the evening routine for your skincare, and you're putting on your moisturizer. That's exactly what you do.
Move up.
Move it up. Move it up.
That's right.
And if you really want to put some extra on it, you can do this with your fingers.
Yeah.
Rub your hands together. Talk to them.
Oh.
Tell them what you want them to do.
All
Put
right.
it at your heart. Just rub them, and then touch yourself. Hey, you understand me? Telling you, get you together, girl.
And pat it a little bit.
Also,
right, pat it a little bit. Yes.
Then you can also strengthen up.
I'm sorry, Dan.
You can also strengthen. I'm gonna say you can also strengthen up your neck. Doing neck circles. I don't know, the old school. I grew up in the 90s, and every girl wanted to get sassy, wanted to roll her neck. So it's like neck circles, and then gently going side to side. I'm a belly dancer, so we have to stretch our bodies on a regular basis. And it's like just stretch the neck. Look up, look down, look all around. All of this helps release the tension and everything that's in our shoulders, that's in our necks, but it helps keep the muscles nice and tight.
Yes.
Yep. Just roll your head around.
Rolling.
And it looks sexy and seductive too. Yeah, your dreads and hair, wig, whatever, it looks sexy too. Because the hair falls. Like, okay. And you do the other side. So whatever you do on one side, you make sure you do to the other side. And you look up, you move it, exercise it. It still exercise your neck. So that's how you can get all this nice and tight. Nice and tight. Keep it nice and tight.
I love it.
And when you're in the mirror, not anybody watching, you do the vowels or it sounds like the vowels with your mouth, and they exercise this area. So when the wrinkles come, they'll stay smoothed out instead of getting all bunched up,
Right.
All of the good stuff.
People ask me a lot of times, like, well, what is your secret for looking younger or staying so young or whatever? And I do face exercises every morning.
Okay.
Like when I wake up, I just, like what she said, I'm an actor. So for practice, we open our mouths really wide and we stretch our face. Like that's our exercises as an actor, right? So I just do those same exercises every morning. I stretch my face, I move it around, I massage it vigorously, I give it blood flow and circulation, And
but you know what, sister? What you're doing and what we all are doing now are motivating and supporting one another. And what I got from you that my soul needed to hear right now is consistency. Yes. I'll be 74 years old this year, and I still ride my bike. I was roller skating up until maybe about a year and a half ago. But when I come back to Detroit, I'm getting my roller skating back because I got friends and I'm a ballroom dancer, roller skater.
Wow.
I will play hopscotch with the little girls if I have to,
Yeah.
but I have been with older people who act like old. They think that it's your duty to get your medications and let them give you a walker and get in your scooter. And if that's what you want to be, I'm through with that community. I'm coming back and reconnected with my active, my loving sisters, so we can give and receive like you guys are doing right here in this morning sessions here.
Yes. I love it. I want to be like you when I grow up. Yes.
Well, I was a barber for a number of years. That's how I met Sheila, because she's a compadre of Alan Biggers, who's now RE. But I was all part of that whole movement there.
Yeah. It was funny.
Wow.
Speaking of the children, I was thinking about At Peace when she was sharing about what she does. Well, when you have 6 kids, 6 children, then you're
thank you.
Like,
thank you.
Yeah. I'm doing that, dude. You're doing all these things. You don't. Where are you at? You're on mute, baby.
They definitely keep me going. My children keep me the youngest. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I give it all to them. I love you, baby. I give it all to them. So today we're going to keep on with the series for May, and thank you so much for sharing that wisdom. Thank y'all for chiming in and for giving that good juju. I love it. So today we're going to talk about self-love equaling self-compassion. And that's something that I know I had to work on. That's something that you may be working on right now. And I think as women of color, especially African-American or Black women, having compassion for ourselves is can be extremely difficult. It's not even something that we think about. Compassion for myself, being gentle with myself, it's not really something we think about. You know, we are very much aware of how we treat other people, but we're not always aware of how we treat ourselves. And so that's why we started this series this month of self-love, right? Last week was self-love equals self-worth. And so this week is self-love equals self-compassion. And so in our team meeting last week, I was asked to share my testimony, to share my story of how did I become at peace? You know, everyone calls me at peace, and people even say that you really are your name, you know, and I really love that. And then I put Makita on the end of it about 7 years ago, because that's my mother's given name is Makita. And I really wanted to expand and expound on that. So I guess I would start from the beginning. Where do I start? No, I was born and raised here in Detroit, Michigan. I, grew up on the west side of Detroit. And I had a very interesting childhood, though, as most people do. And we'll get off into that in a little bit. But I just want to kind of share some of the highlights of what my experience has been up to this point, or how I got up to where I am right now, right? So I graduated high school with a pretty good GPA. I got a full ride to Wayne State playing cello. I was a cellist back in the days. And I got a full ride. And while I was there, about a year after being in college, I left for the military. And so I went to the Navy, and I served proudly. I loved that experience. I learned a lot from that experience. And after I left the military, I moved to Philadelphia to continue my studies at Temple University for film and media arts. And so that was a great experience. I learned a lot from that experience. And it also led me to become an educator. So eventually I grew into becoming an educator, professor at Brown University, teaching literacy and performing arts together, which I thought was really cool. I did that for 3 years. I started my own consulting business after, and I just started as a consultant, just teaching about character development, teaching about mindset and meditation, teaching creative arts and how to be creative. I started doing that more. I was living in New England at the time, and I just started doing that more. So I started showing up in schools and, nonprofits. Nonprofit market was really big out there. So I did a lot of nonprofit work. And then I left there, moved to Atlanta, did the same thing. Started consulting, started teaching, doing creative directing, creative arts, left there, moved to Miami, did the same thing. Just kept it going, everywhere I moved, I took my talent and I took my what I felt was my life purpose with me, right? And I just continued to grow my business everywhere that I went. So while I was in Miami, I continued to teach creative development. I continued to teach character development to children and etiquette and all of those things, performing arts. And then I had to pay bills, like really get serious about my finances. So I went back to corporate America. I continued to work in corporate America for a while at a law office, but I felt really alone. I'm working literally 60 hours a week. I come home, I got to still cook dinner. I got to clean. I got to love on my husband, love on my children, find a room to love on myself. It became a lot. It was very overwhelming after a while. And so I started Sister Sharon, and it just started out at my house. Women came over. I cooked them a good meal. I'm already an educator, so we did a whole bunch of fun activities, right? We did a yoga session in my backyard. And it just kind of grew from there. So that was in 2007. And then women loved it so much. The next month we did it again and again and again. Then when I moved back to Detroit about a year later, kept it going, kept meeting with women and having sister circles and teaching, consulting and all of that. And so I've been back home now longer than I expected. About 12 years, longer than I expected. I've been here and I've been able to, really develop as a creative here. And I really appreciate everything that I've learned, as far as developing me as a woman, developing my creativity, my business. But all of that, all of the good stuff. And then I also worked as an international spokeswoman for about 3 years for a nonprofit, which opened up so many doors for me. Like, I can't even imagine how many doors that being a spokeswoman I was a spokeswoman for the global water crisis. So if you don't know, there's a huge crisis in terms of owning our water, having access to our water being healthy. And so I was on the front lines of really making that a known thing and letting people know that your water is in crisis, right? So I traveled all over the country. I was on every news media outlet in the world, literally. And then I got asked to be on The Daily Show on Comedy Central with Jon Stewart. I was featured on there. And that kind of opened up a world for me. I was then asked to be a US delegate in Ireland for the International Human Rights Day. I was a feature there. That was an amazing experience. I'm Beyonce in Ireland, just so y'all know. Okay. Woo! They love me in Ireland. Okay. And that's on period. I had an amazing time. I was the first. I want to say I was the first. I'm going to do my research, but I think I was told I was the first African-American woman to be featured on their largest syndicated nightly news show. I was the first Black woman, ghetto girl, that was featured on that show. And it was actually one of their most highly watched, highly viewed episodes. So I'm really proud of the things that I've been able to accomplish. And just being a single mom, you know, surviving divorce, surviving single motherhood still, you know, I've been through a lot of wonderful things. I've been able to take what has happened in my life, the things that I've gone through, and kind of transform them into a whole world that is healthy and is helping other people. And so I like to always just share like where God has taken me, where God has shown up in my life, right? I don't look like anything that I've been through. I promise you that. And I only give God the glory. I only give God the praise for that.
Hey. All right.
Yep. And so thank you. So how did I get to that point, right? How did I get to this place where I'm speaking and I'm teaching and I'm, you know, I got I got 5 kids on my back and I'm running around doing everything. And how did I get to that point, right? And it's been a bittersweet journey. I haven't always been at peace, you know, I'm not always at peace, right? The name At Peace was a God-given name. It is my God-given name. It's where I aspire to be in my life. I aspire to be at peace in my life with whatever's going on, right? And one of, my parents did the best job that they could. I was raised by, both my parents were addicted to drugs. So my mom, she was a heroin addict. My father, he was using drugs at the time. This was in the 70s, right? When it was really popular and cool, right? And so when I was 3, my mom passed away from a heroin overdose. And I was left to be raised with my father. And my father was considerably younger than my mother. My mother was 12 years older than my dad. So she was in her 30s when she passed. He was in his early 20s, like in the 70s. Like, what is he going to do with a kid, and then a girl kid at that, right? But I give my father credit because he did the best he knew how to do, right? And even when he could have stepped away or not cared or whatever, he still fought those feelings enough to make an effort. And so I will always give him honor for that. And what I learned from that experience with him. But I mean, I was raised by a drug addicted, alcoholic father. And that took a toll of its own, which we all know the story at this point of how that can affect a child, right? So I've been through the whole ringer of being a young girl, being raised in the hood. I was molested, you know, I was neglected, I was abandoned, like the whole 9. You know, there were people around me, but if those adults don't care about you and they're not checking for you, then you're pretty much on your own. And so at a very young age, I'm talking 5 or 6, I was out here in these Detroit streets on my own, right? I had a home to go home to, but there was no one supervising me. There was no one making sure that I ate, making sure that I had a place to, you know, making sure that I was in the home safely, making sure I did my homework, making sure, you know, there wasn't that consistent showing up for me, you know, because once I got to a certain place, my dad was like, okay, girl, you got this, girl, I'm out. I'm going back to the streets, right? So I would see him every now and then. I'm staying with my grandparents at this point, and I would see him every now and then, but it wasn't anything consistent, like to bring me stability and to make me feel safe and whole, right? So he later married, or not married, but he later got with my sister's mom, which became my stepmother. And again, she did the best she could, but she was abusive, verbally and emotionally abusive, sometimes physically abusive. So I had to go through all of these different changes. And I remember when I was about 7, I discovered there was no Santa Claus. Honey, for a child already living in trauma, not knowing, but finding out that there's no Santa Claus is a problem. Okay, it is a problem because there's nothing else. When you have parents who are drug addicted, one thing you don't have is stability. Like, so Santa Claus, that was my dude. Like, we were in this
every
together,
year.
Yeah. So when I was about 7 and I found out there was no Santa Claus, that just kind of really, I was out of the matrix by then. Okay. I was over it and I was out of the matrix by then. And what really took me out was not so much that I found out that there was no Santa Claus, but the fact that I'm living in a world with adults who are trying to force me to believe that there is a Santa Claus.
Mm.
Mm. And that's what really at 7 opened me up to like, okay, what is this and why are we here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm literally telling the truth. I'm saying there is no Santa Claus. I'm telling my cousins, my sister, and I'm getting beat, smacked in the mouth.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm getting tortured. Like, whoa, there's no Santa Claus. And so from 7 till about 11, going into 12, I went on this whole spiritual sabbatical. I mean, I was atheist. I was like, there is no God. Why would God do this to someone like me? I'm 7. Okay. I'm just going through it. Like, and me and what I know now as my guardian angels, right? Now I know they're my spirit guides and my ancestors, right? But back then we weren't talking like this. We didn't know any of these things. So I'm having these conversations with my higher self, right? I'm having these conversations like, why are we here? And, why are they trying to make me believe something that's not true? And what else is not true about this place? And all of that. And so being at that state of awareness at such a young age took me on I realize now that I was tapped into my soul's calling. And there is a difference. And as I went through my life, I continued on through my journey, my soul continued to open up to me. My soul continued to open up to itself, right? And it really showed me that there's more to this than what it appears. From the Santa Claus to the dynamics that I was dealing with in my childhood, I managed to, like I said, graduate high school, got a full ride to Wayne State playing the cello. I also fell into church a lot from 12 until about 18 or 19. I was in church very heavily because that was a safe place for me. I was able to like really just feel the love that I didn't feel at home and really connect and be creative and be encouraged and supported. And it was a wonderful experience to be in church. But once I got to Wayne State, that kind of opened up a new world for me because now I'm seeing I'm hanging out with these Muslim kids and they're running off to prayer and they're committed to their religion, right? And so it opened my mind to, okay, who is God? Not so much what is religion, how to be a great Christian, but who is God, right? And when you start to ask that question to yourself, oh boy, that's like opening up Pandora's box, my love. Like you are gonna find out who God is when you ask that question. And so I left college, right? I lost my scholarship, no direction, no support, not really knowing what I was doing with myself, right? And so I ended up losing my scholarship. I'm like, what do I do? What am I going to do now? I joined the military. The military was always my backup plan. So I joined the military. I did a wonderful job. I'm not even going to lie. I'm 19 years old and I'm in charge of 80 women. They put me in charge of my entire company, 19 years old, because I have 4 years of ROTC. I already knew what I was doing. I did really great in ROTC. So now I'm 19 years old. I'm in Orlando, Florida. I got 80 women from all over the country that I'm supposed to lead. right? So that was a whole other learning curve and a whole new experience for me. And I found myself at 19 years old doing all of this stuff with the military, being, focusing so much, wanting to be so perfect in this position. Every night, whenever we'd have conflict, we wouldn't deal with it that day. At night, I'm counseling women. Every night, I'm counseling somebody in my company. These women are 30 years old, 25, I'm 19, and I'm counseling these women, right? And I'm helping them figure things out and helping them understand themselves and all of this great stuff, right? And so eventually, I had a breakdown. I'm still dealing with my stuff. Now I'm dealing with their stuff. Now I got the military coming at me. And eventually I broke down. And that breakdown helped me to realize that all I really have and all I really am responsible for primarily is myself. I have to take care of me. I got to make sure I'm straight because nobody else. I mean, people show concern, people show care, but to really get in those trenches with me didn't happen. Right. And so that helped me to realize really quickly and very early on that I needed to take care of myself. And so as we moved on in my career, I did a wonderful job. I was on the honor guard, which is a very prestigious position. I spoke on behalf of the military at numerous public events, for very dignified events. I was the public speaker and presenter a lot of the time. And so I got to really grow in that role of being in the military, but there was still something missing. So by the time I left, I met my first husband. And now we cooking with hot grease, baby. Now we cooking with some hot grease, okay? Baby. There is nothing. I watched this movie. I wish I could remember the name of it right now, but it was so good. It had Queen Latifah and a few other really famous. I'm not going to hold us up trying to remember. But in this movie, there's a scene that stayed with me. It was this older Italian woman. She was on her deathbed, and the main actress was a nurse. And the older woman, she said, "Women, strong creatures God made us. Men can take us down every time." And it was and I was only 21, 22 when I heard that. And I thought about it forever. What does she mean by that? Men are wonderful. I love men. Men are great. Da, 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 da. When I got to that first marriage, I learned very quickly what she meant. We are very strong creatures, but when it comes to that man, that right man, y'all all know what happens. And that's what happened to me. So I ended up marrying shortly after getting out of the military, falling madly in love with my ex-husband. We had a baby right out the gate. And so now I'm a newlywed. I'm fresh out of the military. I'm pregnant, and we relocate to Philadelphia so I can start school. I take on a full school load, and I'm working 40 hours a week at Prudential Insurance. Who's doing that? Right? And I handled it. I carried a 4.0. I handled that thing. Had my first baby. I handled that thing. And what happened right after? Crash. Boom. Kaput. I had another breakdown, right? So I moved back to Detroit, trying to get my head together. The marriage was not healthy. It was very, very toxic, very abusive, emotionally and mentally abusive. So I moved back to Detroit. I'm trying to figure things out. And in the midst of trying to do all of that, 6 months after having my first child, she's taken away. I lose my baby. My ex-husband went into, I guess, a fit of rage because I wasn't there. And he took the life of our baby. He took her life while I was at work, day before her first Thanksgiving. And needless to say, that was the biggest pivot point of my journey. I lost my husband, my baby, my home, my job, and almost my sanity in one day. And that's when I realized there really is no Santa Claus. Honey, there's a whole lot of nothing up in here, And it snatched me out of the matrix really quick. And I had to make a decision. Had to make a decision. Am I going to stay stuck with this fixation or this idea or these things that are being thrown at me by other people of how I should process this and what I should do and the drugs I should take and the mental hospital I should go in and all of these different things that I should do? Or do I stop? Do I drop to my knees? And do I surrender to a higher power? Because I don't know what's going on. I don't understand this. This is not making sense to me. None of it. I don't get it. So I dropped to my knees and I surrendered. 3 days after my daughter passed away, the pressure was so heavy. Like, what do I do? My daughter's gone. And that is a pain that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Okay. So trying to live through that pain. And then it was a media sensation. So it's all over the news. My relatives, they don't know how to respond. They don't know what's going on. So everybody's looking at me. That's the other thing I learned in that experience. Oh, the woman, especially a Black woman, she gonna get thrown under the bus first. She gonna get thrown under the bus every time because I wasn't even home and I got questioned and people were pointing the finger. Well, why did you marry him? And you should have known he was abusive and da 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 da. It was relentless. Okay. And so what do? You still got to get up every day and live your life. I went within. I surrendered that thing. I dropped to my knees. I asked for forgiveness. I surrendered it to the Most High. And then I made a new decision. Okay, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing. Let's get it. And I embraced the experience. And so several days later, I was able to speak at her memorial. God gave me the strength to encourage other people. I'm the keynote speaker at my daughter's memorial, encouraging everyone else when I'm supposed to be the one to be encouraged. That was another thing that let me know this is the purpose that God has for my life. And so as I've continued to unfold, and here's the thing about it, being at peace does not mean you are perfect, quote unquote, which you are perfect in a whole other realm. But I'm just saying in 3D, perfect and peace don't necessarily mean the same thing, right? And so I wasn't striving to be perfect anymore. I got to be perfect. I got to do this. I got to do what God said. I got to be this up to this superhuman. And I just wanted to be at peace. So one day I went into meditation. I said, because meditation was the only quiet, peaceful place I found through all of that chaos is when I really developed my meditation practice. I really was able to tap in, zone out the world, and really go within and find the voice of God within me. And when I was able to do that, everything changed. I mean, everything changed. And I was able to see God flower out of me, right? I was able to see what it is that God wanted from me. And so even in dealing with the triggers and the traumas, they will always in some way be there because they're a part of my story, right? But continuing to pour into that God part of me, it kind of like fills it up so that the trauma is here and the God part is here. And that feels so much better than this way, where the trauma is running everything and God is somewhere in it somewhere. I had to make that shift, right? It's all God. It's all good. Even if I don't understand it, even if I don't like it, even if it don't make sense, even if it's uncomfortable, it's all God, period. And put a period right there, right? And that stopped that duality, because in Christianity and other religions, we're taught duality. We're taught, left, right, up, down, dark, light. This is true. Duality is real. But guess what? Even in all of that duality, there's always the balance. There's always this line in the middle that connects the two. So there's only one. There's really only one power and one presence on the planet. Not there's a devil here and there's this one there and there's that one. They all came from one power. They all came from one source. And so that is what my journey has taught me overall. And being able to find that peaceful medium, being able to find that peaceful place, that is being at peace. Not figuring it all out, having all the answers, making the perfect decision, making everyone else happy, all of it. That's not where peace lives. Peace lives with you being true with you living in your own authenticity. Even when it doesn't feel good or look good, you're still you, right? And I think that's something that has really been my saving grace, is knowing yourself enough to know that all of this is not you. It's not you. It's not. God made you to be so much more, So we filter through life getting to that point. And so now, so not to leave you guys hanging. So I moved forward after my daughter passed away, give thanks. I found out shortly after that I was pregnant with her sister. Ha! That's how God worked. Ha ha! And I named her Blessing, right? And God has just continued to open us up, to open my soul up to my soul's expression. So I had Blessing, I remarried, I had more children. That marriage had its own life lessons for me, and I learned those lessons and continued to flower on, right? When that marriage was over, years and years later, I remarried again, found love again, right? And that experience opened my soul up, and it taught me so much about myself. And so when we decide to create this life, to allow things to be, to allow who we really are to come through, we have a completely different experience than the cookie cutter one that was written out for us in a book by other people who don't even know you. There's two different realities here. And so what I do now is I help women and men, but primarily women, I help them to really work through their own traumas, to work through their own stuff, so they can get to a place of authenticity, so they can be at peace with themselves and they can be at peace with the world around them. Even when it's not perfect, even when they don't like it, even when it's uncomfortable, you can still find joy. You can still be at peace. You can still have fun. You can still smile and laugh, because that is who being an expression of God is. It's not about when things are going great and everything is going, look at me, I'm shining. Oh, I'm a star, period. That's cute. But what about when things aren't going that great? What about when you out here dangling, like for real, you don't know what's going to happen? Do you love God then? Y'all cool then? Do you give your praises then? Do you show up shining and beautiful then? Right? So that's what I learned. That's what I continue to learn. I'm not, like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm just peace. I'm at peace with it, And I teach and I help and I encourage other women to do the same. So Sheila, thank you. I've been thanking you from jump for this platform, for this opportunity to share. Thank you for asking me to share my story. I'm really grateful for that. And I'm hoping that something in my story has triggered you to help you to realize your greatness, that where your peace lies within you, and just allowing God to unfold you like a flower, right? Like a rose, right? Because this life is, there's bitter and there's sweet. What are you gonna do? That food tasted so good when you ate it, but you still had to poop it out. It gotta happen. Don't shoot the messenger, you know what I'm saying? It's got to go down, okay? So I find this a lot, especially in the spirit culture, in the spirit community, spiritual community. And I've been part of spiritual communities all over. So I'm really grateful for that, to have like a more broader view of the spiritual community. And what I found is that we all want to stay in that sweet spot. That sweet spot tastes so good. It's so good. It's like being on your mama nanny. I breastfed all my kids. Can't you tell? But it's like, sometimes be so good to them. They don't want to let it go. You be like, you're done. Like, right? And when you snatch them off the nanny, oh Lord, it's the worst thing ever, right? But in reality, that's what it is, right? So being able to still be at peace in those moments when the sweet spot's not so sweet is what I specialize in, really helping you to remember who you are, even in those moments. I doula you, encourage you, support you through the process, right? And so today, like I said, we're talking about self-love equaling self-compassion. One of the things you have to have for yourself, no matter what, is compassion. We'll sit out here and we'll be compassionate for everybody else. Oh, but such and such had this going on, and I just got to show up for them. And my husband did this, and I just got to show up for him. And and I totally understand what this person is going through. But then as soon as it comes to you and your stuff, I can't believe I did that shit. Oh my God, look at me now. You so stupid, man. You always doing stupid stuff. Yep, that's what my daddy used to. It's like the script completely changes. Maybe it's because I'm an Aries. We're about the self. We're about the I am, honey. but living in that world, like, literally drives me insane. Like, I can't be, because life beats us up so much, I can't be the one that beats myself up. That's too much, right? And so today we're going to talk about self-compassion. We're going to talk about how to share that compassion, right? I know we got to get off social media, and we're going to just go straight into the Zoom room. So if you want to join us in the Zoom room, please do that. I know we're going to get off social media if we haven't already. And in the Zoom room, we're going to do our meditation. We're going to share with Danielle, and we're also going to get really deep into self-compassion and how you can show more compassion to yourself this week. All right. So thank you guys so much for letting me share. I appreciate it.
At Peace, if you could let them know how they can connect with you and your service.
Yes.
On Facebook, what name they should go to.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. My contact. So if you want to find out more about me, you can go on my website at peacemakita.com. It's just a promotional website, just kind of showing you what I do and, a little bit about me. You can also email me at peace, ATPACE, the number 2, teach@gmail.com, at peace2teach@gmail.com if you have any questions, or if you want to sign up. I do one-on-one coaching services. I also do group sessions. I'm still doing Sister Sharon. We usually meet around the full moon or the new moon. So I do have a circle coming up. I'm still out here in these creative streets. So I'm hosting a writing workshop and a open mic for poets and storytellers. That'll be coming up soon. I also have a music movement event coming that we'll share more about. If you can check out or you can call me on my business line at 313-466-HEAL, HEAL, 313-466-HEAL. And I can also take you there. It was something else I really wanted to share. It'll come back to me. I don't want to waste any more time, but yes, definitely stay in touch with me. I do one-on-ones, I do group sessions. I have a lot of things coming up. So make sure you stay in touch.
Awesome. So if you want to continue with us today or any other day, if you just go to elizabethvisionaryconference.org and just get your free ticket and come and join us on the Zoom, and then Zoom with us for the rest of your life.
Love it. I love it.
Let me make
sure. All right, ladies.